The FujiCast is an independent loading zone production.
Tuesday, 12th of May.
The FujiCast.
Welcome to the FujiCast. The daily show instead of the weekly show, where we're with you and a photographic community talking about Fuji cameras, yes, talking about photography, yes, any kind of genre. And today, Kev, is one of our favourite days on a Tuesday, isn't it? Because it is, well, we started out calling it No Tech Tuesday, and then it's Free for All Tuesday, and now it's Tech Free Tuesday. I don't think it's ever had a proper title, has it?
I think Tech Free Tuesday is about right.
Is that what it's become? So Tech Free Tuesday is where all the questions, we can have photography ones in there, but they're tech free. So there's no button focusing questions. What are the various other ones we get reasonably often? Normally something about the 56mm.
Which lens are a favourite?
Well, I suppose that's loosely tech, isn't it? Weatherproofing, weather sealing is an old chestnut. So anything you like, except the tech stuff. But we should really start, Kev, by saying, first of all, your presets have gone down very well. Some lovely comments to do with them, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. Yes, thank you very much, everybody. For those of you that have invested in them, I love that word invest.
Yes.
What I really mean is giving me money. Joking, it's a good investment.
It's always a funny word when wedding photographers use the word investment. I'm being cautious here, Kev. Do you use investment in your website?
No, I don't.
No.
I use the word fees.
Fees,
I must admit, I don't like having the title prices.
No.
Because that sounds a little bit coarse. But I don't like the word investment because I don't really think it is an investment. So you're not going to get a return on your money.
Well, I guess you are in terms of it's the only thing that lasts after the wedding, I suppose.
True. I don't know. I think it just sounds a bit highbrow, but it's just me. So I go on fees. I use fees. Professional fees. That's
professional fees, yeah.
But your mileage may vary.
The Wonga.
Give us your cash.
The other thing we must mention is FujiFund.org. This is something that, in fact, you know about it because you were approached about it. So I shouldn't. You go for it, Kev.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing to do with us, but we're gonna mention it every now and again until the launch. So Ian Palmer has set up FujiFund, which is some 16 Fujifilm photographers have all donated a print, including myself, and he's going to be on the 20th of May. That website is going to open up. Well, it's there now, so you can see it, but the purchasing will happen on the 20th of May. FujiFund.org, and all profits will go to the COVID appeal and also to another charity which deals with hungry children in, I think it's in the UK, but it might be in Europe or even worldwide. Anyway, all the money is going to go to charity. It's a very good deal. Each print is individual and will be printed professionally and framed and all that kind of stuff by the good folks at Digital Lab.
And actually, Ian wrote to us with some of his faves, didn't he? We had Rinzy Rose, we mentioned, Russell Ord, we've mentioned. I think it's Russell on the show this coming Saturday for the star interview. Isabel Corthier was mentioned for this particular one. He said, I was so thankful when Isabel agreed to donate a shot. She's a fabulous documentary photographer with a heart of being the voice for others at the core of what she does. Ian, that is great. I'm going to get you to write my website. The shot she donated speaks of friendship and captures joy and individual expression, something she's expert at capturing. That's why I really like it. It's just a celebration. So there we go. If there's not a reason to go off to the website and have a look for it now, I don't know what is.
And we will link, of course, and show Isabel's image on the FujiCast show notes in today's episode. Right,
before we get going with these tech-free questions, did you, yesterday you gave me a challenge. 20 hops from London Underground on Wikipedia. Why? I suppose London Underground was just this sort of arbitrary starting place, and 20 was an arbitrary number, wasn't it?
Well, we were talking about London Underground, weren't we?
Yeah.
So, So it's just a time-killing exercise, really. Yeah. So 20 was arbitrary, but I find 20 is good because you can go really off-piste with it.
I think we were trying to prove how far down the rabbit warren you could travel, weren't we, or something?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, did you think about the links you were clicking onto? Did you look down the page and think, oh, that's something I'd be interested in? Or did you just randomly do it? Yeah, because I did take some time thinking, oh, yeah, that's how it... So I went, first of all, from London Underground to, I ended up at Paddington for GWR, and then after that, it just got really random. And after 20 hops, I ended up in the Burgundy wine region.
It's funny, we both ended up in areas. I ended up in a tiny little town in Massachusetts called Adams.
Is it linked to a brewery?
No, that's Adnams.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Adnams.
Yeah, Adams, Massachusetts.
Oh, Adams, Massachusetts. Why? What do they have in Adams, Massachusetts that you were interested in?
I can't remember the exact route I took, but I ended up reading about somebody who was a lecturer at Yale University, who happened to be from Adams, Massachusetts. And I thought I would click on it. Just basically, my reason why I ended up clicking on that was because I thought, well, hang on, Massachusetts Institute of Technology is in Massachusetts. I wonder if it's related to that. Turns out it's not. It's just a town in Massachusetts.
It was quite an interesting experiment, actually.
It's good fun, isn't it? And I end up on Wikipedia. I just go and go and go and go.
You ready for some questions?
Indeed.
Steffi Petroskov, yeah. With the interviewees you've had on the show doing such a vast number of different things, I'm thinking, though, in particular about one photographer you have mentioned a lot, Don McCullin. If either of you would have had the opportunity, would you or could you have covered the kind of work he did? Good question, Steffi, because every time we went to the last exhibition of his, we went to together, didn't we? The two of us, Michael Schilling, and I think also Sanjay, didn't we?
Sanjay, Michael,
yeah. And I think we're all standing there saying, "Oh, do you know, if I could have worked in this kind of arena," whilst also looking at some of the horrific stuff and thinking, "I'm glad I didn't."
Yeah, no is probably the answer. I would. It's hard, isn't it? If I was single and didn't have families and all that kind of stuff, I would probably be a little bit more blasé about it, although I'd certainly be thinking very much twice about it. Yeah. We're talking about something very seriously, Gemma. We're talking about dead people in wars.
Oh dear.
Dead people in wars?
Yeah, Gemma's just really interrupted us.
Is this the time? What does she want? Nothing to do with the plumbing.
She said we could arrange that, i.e. me going off to war zones.
No, I heard you say if I was single.
Oh, if I was single.
Sorry.
She's already getting the passport out the cupboard for you. That can be arranged, Mullins, although you can't travel just at the moment. Turning back to our serious faces.
Yeah. No. You know what?
By the way, are you going to miss the studio interruptions and the?
Yeah, it won't be the same, will it? I think what we should do when we get back together in your studio is record just some random interruptions from the family.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll get the Amazon man just to keep knocking on the door every so often. Anyway, go on. Back to the serious nature of the question from Steffi Petroskov.
Yeah. So no, I honestly probably not. I think is the thing, but like I say, it depends on your circumstance in life, doesn't it? And but I know Don was married when he, Don McCullin was married when he went off to do all these things,
and he had children as well.
Well, I think if I remember rightly, I'm fairly sure this is the case. He was on his honeymoon when the Berlin Wall issues were happening, was going up, and he basically, they came back from their honeymoon and he took the only money they had. He said, I'm going to Berlin. Yeah. I'm going to photograph it. So I don't think they had kids at that point, but yeah, certainly later. I don't know. What do you do? I'd like to say from a, from a point of view of documentation, then yes, you'd have it in you. But I'm too selfish, I think, if truth be told.
Very tricky one. I think I follow the same line as Kev there, really. It does take an awful lot of guts as well. And the world's a different place now as well. I mean, I remember talking to John McCarthy all those weeks back, where the Daily started, and I can't remember whether he said this during the interval, or maybe when we were the interview, or maybe when we were chatting before or after, where he said, times have changed. He was a hostage at, if there was a right time, the right time, because now being a hostage, you'd end up in a different colour suit, and I'm afraid many people have found out, of course, they're bargaining chips in a rather horrific sense. Very true.
I mean, we mustn't forget that Don McCullin also photographed things closer to home. Both, Both, so he did the Northern Ireland Troubles for a long time in the 70s. Some iconic pictures came from Don McCullin there.
True.
And of course there was crossfire there, so a lot of innocent people also got hurt there as well. But I think, generally, would I get on a plane and go to Syria?
You'd have to think twice about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Riley North. What's the... Oh, blimey, we're starting off with some serious ones, dear listener. We'll get back to the ones like we have had over the last couple of weeks in a moment. Riley North, what's the most frightening photographic experience you've both had? A situation you've been in where you thought, I didn't quite sign up for this. Well, certainly we can't lay claim to anything, as you can imagine now, like we were talking about with Don McCullin. But, I mean, I do have an amusing one. So I had the advantage of seeing this before you've seen this. So... and I've never ever told you this, Kev, and I've certainly never ever told Andreas this. But, Andreas, are you listening? I almost got mugged in Brighton, where I went out. I tried to get some low light stuff with one of the I think it was one of the only pre-release XH1s. Literally, this camera had come into the country, and I went to test it for some low light. And I took it out late at night, and I was approached by somebody, and I thought, this is going to be a really serious situation. And I did put the camera before me, and I thought, I don't want to be going back to Andreas saying, you know that lovely new camera, the XH1? I haven't got it anymore.
So what happened?
Well, fortunately, a couple of people. It was that stretch that's very. You know, when you go down onto the next to the coast. It's where that zip wire is. Yeah. So at night time, that becomes quite quiet. That stretch, but it's also quite good because you can look back towards the pier. And I that was a really good place to set up and get some low light. But I was completely on my own, and this bloke came towards me. And he made some serious noises of wanting something from me. That's all I'll say. And then, fortunately, a couple of people came along along as well at the same time as him, and he kind of got a bit spooked by it and disappeared.
Yeah, that's worrying, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're talking about.
I'll never do that again, Andreas. By the way, I'll only ever go out in the light.
There was one ex-photographer, Fujifilm ex-photographer, who I will not name, who I think it was the XT3 that he'd got on pre-release, and he was due to be testing it, and he dropped it off a cliff.
What? Oh, she laugh.
And it never came back. Smashed into a million pieces.
Oh, so no, it was a goner. I thought you were going to say for a minute it was on the end of a lead and it was okay. It bounced back again like a bungee.
No, it went, and I think it was like the only one in Europe or something.
Oh my God, that would have been one of the disaster stories on the old Monday shows we used to do, wouldn't it? Be perfect if it had had the guts to write in about it.
Well, we've spoken about it many times, so I'm not going to tell you who it was. Though. I said him.
Does it rhyme with? No, we can't do that. I also slipped a guide in the Gambia and ended up facing somebody with a weapon. You've seen that video, haven't you? And that was about it, really. Nothing else. Nothing terrible at a wedding. Nothing like that, to be honest. Well, have you ever been in a situation where you thought, I didn't sign up for this photographically?
No, true. That's it. You know, I photograph. Well, there was that woman that died. We've spoke about that. You know, there's an old lady dropped dead in front of me at a wedding. But yeah, weddings, not really. I mean, weddings are very... very enclosed, aren't they? Not really a great deal goes on there in terms of outside the box stuff. And I haven't really been in the situations. I mean, I've been I've photographed births and things like that. And I remember when I photographed my first birth, I was actually thinking to myself, Mullins, how the hell do you get yourself into these situations? What on earth was going through your head? But actually, it turned out to be one of the most enjoyable things I've ever photographed.
Can you imagine that all gowned up if somebody would have mistaken you and said, Dr. Mullins, this way, please, got another patient for you. Step this way.
Yeah, hold this.
Alison Barkley, can I suggest that who would play you in a movie conversation? Did we do this one before? We did do that one. Sir Patrick Stewart would give us an excellent Neil James.
Oh, I see. She's adding to that conversation.
Oh, I
Patrick
see.
Stewart, I see. Yeah, I can see you as Patrick. I can see Patrick Stewart as you. Yeah.
See, I like Patrick. Just because he's bald, you mean?
No. Do you remember Kinder Surprises?
This is one of those linking things, isn't it? Neil James, Patrick Stewart, Kinder Surprise. Yes, I do remember Kinder Surprise. Is this going further, or were you just taking the mickey?
So I think we should stop.
I'm sure I'd want Sir Patrick Stewart because he's a bit grumpy, isn't he?
Oh,
I mean, he's a great actor. He's very serious, though.
Oh yeah, he's a proper kind of
lovey
Shakespearean actor.
Yes, lovey. Okay. What about you though? Who would play you, Mullins?
Oh, there's millions. Jack D probably. I think Jack D would be the one for me.
He would be good. Yeah. Kian Balak, thank you. Tech Free Tuesdays. Neil and oh god, here comes that word. I did practice this. In fact, I downloaded it, so I'm going to cheat. Is Neil a
autotonsorialist?
Did you get that?
Yeah, autotonsorialist.
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 And if so, well, do you know what it means first of all?
No, I'm going to try and break it down now. Autotonsorialist.
That's it. Yeah. Oh, perfect. Spot on.
Autoton. Yeah. Round
of applause.
Do you have an automatic mode on your tonsil?
Say again. Sorry, the audience were applauding over it. An automatic.
Do you have an automatic mode on your tonsils?
Oh, that's a good guess, but no. I had my tonsils out when I was a kid. That was the first operation I had.
No, I don't know them.
No. It is somebody who cuts their own hair.
What? There's a word for that?
I didn't realise. I had to look it up. And
that's ridiculous. Who thinks of these words?
I don't know, but it's a real word. You'll find it online.
Somebody who cuts. What do they call a barber then?
Well, they're not. They're cutting your hair, aren't they? As a barber, this is somebody who cuts their own hair. I suppose a barber might be a tonsorialist then, would he or she?
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe he is or she is.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to answer your question, Kean. I'm definitely a blade runner. Yes. And he said, if so, blade or clippers. I started very tentatively with clippers and a shaver, but now I go straight in with a blade, Kean. I'm not afraid, and I have had a few issues.
Tonsorialists and hairdressers are semantically related. Sometimes you can replace the term hairdresser with tonsorialist. The words are similar. Next time I go to my my Turkish barber, I'm going to say to him, "Excuse me, tonsorialist."
They do massages in Turkish ones.
I love them. Absolutely love them.
And there's one for you as well from Kian. What is Kevin's favourite food discovery since he became plant-based? Good question.
Probably the Kevin pies. They're great.
What?
The Kevin vegan pies. They're beautiful. Vegan mushroom, baby onions, a little bit of chilli in there. Oh, really nice.
Now, I've been talking to Ralu Chase because we got into this conversation after the pub quiz last week in the Locked In, okay? And for some reason, we got on to talking about vegan diets because she is a vegan as well. And I've been having quite a lot of two ways with her. And I'm getting more and more intrigued by being plant-based, Kev. I am really seriously not even taking the mickey for once.
Well, we've had, I have to admit, since the lockdown, I've slipped a little bit and I've had a little bit of cheese.
Yeah.
But other than that, I've stuck to the plan. And I really have no issues with it whatsoever. I eat a lot of corn. We had what do you call those things? Mexican wraps, tortillas and stuff last night with corn and sriracha sauce, and it was lovely. Chilies, peppers.
Are the kids eating it? Yeah.
Yeah. The kids do. I mean, they will eat some of it. Sometimes they'll have their own. They might have chicken or something. But they love the kebabi type things we found, which are vegan kebabs. They're made by a company called GRO, and they're really nice as well. You honestly, you'd be hard pushed to find to notice the difference from a meat kebab and one of these kebabs.
Well, I've watched a thing on Netflix that Ralu sent to me, and it's difficult during lockdown because we're being really careful about the amount of times we go shopping and the spend on it, and having two different food groups. I don't know. Doesn't necessarily feel the right time for me to do it, but I'm now more intrigued than ever I was.
But also, I would never suggest you do it. I only did it basically because I wanted to have a healthier lifestyle, and you definitely do. And if you're watching that documentary on Netflix, which I think it's the one I watched also, which is when they show the blood contents and all that.
No,
kind of
this
stuff.
is a difficult. This is a different one. Difficult.
Which one's this?
Different one. It is called Fork Over Knives. Or
Oh right. No,
something like that. Yeah. Very good. Very strong.
I spent all afternoon yesterday watching 12 episodes of Agatha Raisin. Ever seen Agatha Raisin?
I haven't, but it sounds...
It's dreadful. Absolutely dreadful.
Why? What is it?
It's it's about a woman kind of sleuth detective again, but it's in the Cotswolds, and it's filmed actually. A lot of it's filmed around here, so I know all the areas.
I thought it was Agatha Raisin was something to do with with plant-based cooking.
No.
The Agatha Raisin Show.
No. Yeah, Agatha Raisin. It's cool. It's all right. It's very, very. You can just switch off and not think about food and stuff.
Mark Wise, did Kevin really not know what a meme was?
It's not a meme, it's a mimi.
It has to be the funniest moment on the show over the last few weeks when Kevin said he thought it was a meme, which can have all kinds of connotations if you start to use the word in different contexts. I'll give you an example. You might get away with, have you seen the barking doggy meme? It's hilarious. But it'd sound a little bit more suspect if you were to say, I'm off to the shower to give my meme a wash. When you innocently just mean you want to wash your pet chihuahua after a long walk in the fields. Using meme, Mark, you've been very inventive here. Using meme as the gold standard pronunciation, though, what are your favourite memes of all time? It's not a meme, it's a...
Meme.
You must get that right.
Oh, look, I'm too old to worry about changing the way I speak. Come by here and listen to me now.
I don't know. Do you have a favourite meme?
Oh, no, I don't know. I've seen millions of them. I saw that one this morning from Matt Lucas taking on the Prime Minister last night. That was very, very funny. That wasn't a meme.
Yeah, that's not so much a meme. Yeah. Have we got time for one more?
Yeah, throw it in. Come on, let's go.
Another one. This is from... And don't forget to keep sending these in. These are brilliant. This will be the last one. And then next Tuesday we'll have another Tech Free Tuesday. Please send them in to click@fujicast.co.uk. Click@fujicast.co.uk. Andrew Higgins, he wrote some good ones in, actually. Your own careers. As someone who's always been a photographer since leaving sixth form college, I find it very interesting that both of you have had successful and wildly different previous careers from photography. I particularly think of Neil with this question because you have a great affection and love for radio by the sound of it. Another podcast I listen to. What, you listen to another one? Surely not. David Lloyd's Radio Moments, which is, I'll agree, Andrew, very good, in which broadcasters speak about their careers in radio and their common love for the medium. So, there's one for both of us here. So, Neil, if radio, he said, insert name here, came calling with a regular show, would you hang up the cameras for radio again? Well, I don't know. I mean, which radio station?
We should answer. I should answer for you, and you should answer for me.
Well, I'll give you your question then. I'll answer for you. Okay. Kev has said he wouldn't be keen to go back into corporate IT. So, Kevin, is there another stage in your career yet to come? Do you want to answer for you, or shall I answer? Yeah,
it's better if we answer for ourselves now. It's all become very complicated.
Well, I mean, Kev's often talked about becoming a dustman of late.
I honestly, I would do it. I think
really?
It's not a menial job.
No, I'm not suggesting that. And in this time, it's been one of the key working jobs, but I just can't imagine you doing it because you'd have to get up early for a start. Dustman.
I get up early.
Oh, you do actually. That's unfair. No, you do get up early. Oh, that bit you could handle.
I have over the last kind of a few years or whatever, I've thought about being a postman. I'd quite like to be a postman.
Yeah,
I think that'd suit me.
That's even earlier than dustman, isn't it?
Well, I used to. My first ever job was a milkman.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that back then because they're all early jobs.
I think I don't know whether I like a teacher. I like the idea of being a teacher. I like the idea of helping people, fledgling people out of the nest, so to speak.
Yeah. Do you think you'd be a frightening teacher? Oh, don't cross Mr. Mullins. He's got a terrible temper.
I think I'd like to do primary kids. I like the little kiddies.
Would you?
Do you think you'd be the little funny faces?
You can't just go into teaching because you want to see their little funny faces.
Yeah, and I quite like the idea of coming home every Friday with knits.
Oh, God. I dream of those days. Knits. Oh, luxury. Oh dear.
So would you, if I don't know, if Steve Wright rang you this afternoon and said, "Come on, Neil, come on the big show tomorrow. You've got your own slot."
Yeah.
You have to.
I don't want to be on his show.
Give up everything and do it, though. Would you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I want to answer for you.
Yeah. Oh, hang on.
Oh, here he comes.
Is it going to be? Hello. It's control of Radio 2. Hold on. Yeah. I get it. All right, bye. They don't want me. I might have to just stay being a photographer.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it'll end up being.
I am about to announce, though, a new solo podcast, I might add, which I can't say anything about at the moment. But don't worry, it's not like Take That splitting up.
Oh no! I want to be. Oh no! Who would you be? You'd have to be Andrew Barlow because he was the talented one. It's something Barlow, isn't it?
Gary Barlow.
Of course, Gary Barlow.
Yeah, I don't know which one of. I don't think I'd have been any of those. They can all dance. I can't dance for toffee. And the only tune I can play on the piano is probably only one-fingered these days. But there we go. So no, we're all good. It's just I do have an exciting thing to come, which I will tell you about soonish.
Good.
And that is it for today. I do like Tech Free Tuesdays.
It's good fun, isn't it?
They are good fun. We didn't get a chance to do Stephen Lynam's question, which is a really, really interesting one about your and my wife.
Your and my wife? That implies we share the same wife.
Oh, no. We're not living in a commune. No,
which
your
is
wife
no longer true.
And my wife. And there's a really good one from Dennis Lee, which is very complicated. A super one from Adam Brennan. Anyway, there's loads. But you still have a chance to get yours in, so send them to click@fujicast.co.uk. Tomorrow, your book. You have to have a book. Have you sorted one for this week?
Yes, I got a good one for tomorrow.
Good.
I got chastised for picking books that nobody could buy.
Well, they were rather expensive, although somebody worked out that they were a gazillionaire through your books.
Yeah, and people do become gazillionaires through books, yeah. So tomorrow will be much more affordable.
Super. All right. See you tomorrow then, Kev.
Bye-bye.
The FujiCast is an independent loading zone production.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.